You're welcome back to your most authoritative news analysis show, Newsfile. My guest, Kwekubako, Clara Berry, Yabuabe Asamoah, and Haruna Idrisu. Now, just a few of your comments here. And Martin Luther in Laboni says that the Supreme Court should ensure that these guys who made those reckless and irresponsible comments are dealt with as a deterrent to others. For the outcome of this unfortunate comments will determine the future political environment for those who have the same agenda. Thank you. And then YK Ansayabwa writes, the back stops with the top boss, the CEO of any organization when things go wrong. So owner must be invited as well by the Supreme Court, and rightly so. Thanks for those messages. Now, Prostacure tea is a specially formulated health drink that improves any problems that you have in urination, delayed urination, frequent urination during the day, and what have you. Prostacure from Medimosis Process Center. You can locate them at Adenta Barrier, Temaje Kojo, and Ahenema Kokobing in Kumasi. The number is 020-8140-668. So contact them. Prostacure. It's the best solution to any of your problems as far as urination is concerned. NIIT is your #1 choice in IT education, and they've been doing this for 15 good years in Ghana. They offer certificate and diploma courses, software engineering, Android programming, PHP, web development, Java programming, hardware and networking, Cisco Oracle database, and a lot more. They have very special packages for JHS leavers and also for corporate organizations, 20% off for you. So join them, niitghana.com, or call 028-9674-770. NIIT, bringing people and computers together successfully. Well, I've told you about White Temple Agency Limited. That is where they have perfect installation of stone chip coated steel roof tiles for you. Ferrof roof tiles, rail, Deva, Veneto, wood, and Zessen. That will beautify your building. 1 year free maintenance service for you as well after sales. Call 0302-673-773. You can contact them or find them at Dabi Avenue, Accra Central, adjacent to the National Health Insurance Scheme office. Stone chip coated steel roof tiles. Ferrof. And if you are looking for solar power that will reduce your cost of electricity, among others, you need to install Victron Solar today and enjoy uninterrupted power supply. Victron Energy. They offer 5 years warranty on all their products except for their solar batteries, which come with 1 year warranty. You can call them on 054-112-3430 or 020-400-8074 to fix your energy challenges at affordable cost. Visit their showroom at number 10 Abaka Road, Tesano Commercial Plaza, first floor, same building with Zuzu Restaurant. You can get them also at info@tinosolutions.com. And if you're a public service worker and you need of a loan, Bank of Africa, that's where to go. Within 48 hours, you get your loan approved, 5 years time to repay, and 3 months to think of how you want to repay. ACAP Compost Fertilizer will make sure the complaints about poor seasonal yield and post-harvest losses are a thing of the past. ACAP Compost Fertilizer is very natural. So contact them, and ACAP Compost Fertilizer is available in all leading agro input dealers and distributors across the country. You can call 02-64-070-8081. Make it happen quick. Everything you always wanted of insurance is online. Buy, renew, and make your claims all in 3 easy steps. First, log on to starassurance.com and follow the 3 easy steps to get your insurance online. It's that easy and quick. Star e-insurance, possible anywhere. Star assurance, everywhere you go. Now, we've run out of time, but the minister asked me to give him just a minute to clarify something.
Yes,
or ask something, which I think is
Samson, just for guidance, because regular elections will become an integral part of our democratic process. My concern, is it mission impossible? What are the practical difficulties? When the Electoral Commission was generating data, can we have the questionnaire that was given out to eligible voter registers? Because in building it must have been the question as to your claim to citizenship, whether you are using your passport, you are using reference of a grandfather or a father or a mother. Now, if that data is not provided for, then you have some practical difficulty. How are you going to go into the register and know that this person walked in based on NHIS? But I think that going into the future, all of us must be interested tomorrow when you go to register. That's not just about your name and date of birth. It must also be your basis of claim to citizenship, because the right to vote is derived out of that important right. And I'm very concerned about the management and acquisition of data in Ghana. Sitting as Minister for Employment, Exercise and Supervision, sometimes over pension, I see a conflict. Different date of birth for employer, different date of birth for pensions. There's conflict. There are people who genuinely retire with some difficulty even computing their retirement income. And I think that we need to take a second look.
It stands to reason that the EC should have admitted that immediately.
Okay.
Why didn't they?
Thank you very much. And when you say things like this, I always go back to the concluding recommendation in the 2014 Abu Ramadan, Evans Nemakon, and Mr. Echampong case. The CJ said, the need for a credible and reliable multi-purpose national identification system comprising the relevant data and communication infrastructure that would answer to most of our national needs, whether for electoral, planning, or developmental, or other purposes, is greater than ever before. We think the time has come for the appropriate authorities to respond to this need. Are the appropriate authorities responding to this need? Is there some capital politically why we don't want to do this rather than the EC doing all of the processes? Now, we have very limited time, but Koku, what do you say about the latest discussion as far as the electricity is concerned? The president said we are not going to declare doomsday, and I'm saying, Mr. President, it's not in a name, it's a reality. I'm facing it. You get up and your lights are off for the whole day, and then evening it comes back. What's the difference between that and doomsday? And now we're being told we're offered some subsidies. And the president comes to say it's not subsidy, it's just a realignment. And we are back to another, debate.
I was thinking you would have started
He has it. He has intellectual property rights.
He was about to put his thoughts down and panic and gave up.
The man himself is here.
Right.
But it's true, we are in virtual doomsday. That's the reality. The causes may be different as to what led us to the protracted one, but virtually that's what is happening. The only thing is I've been told, and I haven't double checked, that this particular one doesn't affect industries and things. I don't know if it's true, but last Thursday that my co-panelist Bawa was saying that it doesn't. If that's true, then perhaps the impact is not as grievous it was previously. No, but the confusion in terms of official communication, the disharmony, lack of coherence. Those were the issues I canvassed last Thursday. We were told, the ECG, I think, were very public, that this was $300 million subsidy of a sort, which led to questions being raised as to what happens to the debt that was outstanding. And now the president says that's not exactly a subsidy, it's realignment. I don't understand what that means. Let me be honest. I have no knowledge as to what exactly the president meant. But there's too much confusion when it comes to official communication, and that's not good. You see, people are going through some hardships, and people want assurance, consistency, truth, integrity when it comes to communication. So when now we don't get exactly what you are saying, there's a deficit in terms of the truth. It boils.
Is the
creates
president
anger.
running away from the political propaganda that is being now made of the subsidy thing? Because you would have heard the NPP clearly say that this is meant to buy votes, the subsidy thing, and that it won't work. So he's trying to say that's not what it is.
Votes are not that cheap.
It could be part of it. Okay, clearly there's an election element in all this. It's 3-4 months to elections. Okay, so we brought subsidy to cure, and people say, hey, come on, what happens to the debt that is standing? Okay, now it comes back to realignment, faulty meters, no longer faulty meters, software. It's total chaos. I have to be honest.
But Kweku, people in parts of the country have been staging demonstrations, we recent one in the northern region, calling on the president to do something about the electricity. If he has the power to do something about it, and he has done it, why should we put it within the election political jacket?
Whether we like it or not, it has an effect. But you see, then be blunt, be straight, be consistent in your communication. What is realignment and what is subsidy? It's all coming from official sources. I agree, the president is overall. But so what did the ECG mean when they came telling us about the subsidy? The president had earlier indicated that July 1st or so, some relief will be brought to bear on the situation. So when the package 300 million thing was brought out, we all thought it was in consonance with what the president had promised earlier. Now we are suddenly told that no.
We'll briefly hear what the ECG had to say about this subsidy thing. But finish your point. We'll hear that, and then I'll hear from Clara what she thinks of the situation.
My view is that I read a lot. I listen to radio. I monitor things, and I sitting here, I'm telling you that I'm confused.
Okay, let's hear what the ECG said about this subsidy announcement.
You see, sometimes subsidies come through pressure groups and all that. Perhaps once these decisions are being made, the mechanism hasn't been put together to identify how it will be paid for. It will have to go through budgetary mechanisms and all that. But once you identify, for example, I can give a very easy example. If, for example, the gas price of today is to be reduced, it means generation costs have gone down. And it's a way where subsidies can be obtained from. So there are so many ways of doing this, and then the consultation had to brainstorm and then come up with a mechanism for this to be addressed. This subsidy or relief we are talking about, the mechanism doesn't come on the government space. So there are two different type of arrangements that government is dishing it out from its space to support the customer. Now this mechanism is from a sector refinancing arrangements.
Which is where?
We're working towards that, and then we'll get you the details. I'm not empowered to speak on that. And the clear mechanism or the process is being laid out. Okay, so ECG didn't announce this on its own. We said the government of Ghana has given relief. So to begin with, it's not even coming from ECG. But we are the implementing agency, so we implementing what has been given to the customer. And then we would have even decided to be quiet about it. But the customer goes to vend and he will see the reduction. So it's worth explaining to the customer that this is what has happened, and therefore this press release.
All right, thank you.
My confusion has deepened. Maybe silence would have been golden. In this
refinancing.
Okay, I'm getting double messages saying time is running out and I'm not reading your messages, and you're accusing me of being selective. Well, I have to select. Unfortunately, I have to select the messages, and particularly those of you who have brought up allegations that some of the people cited for contempt are ex-convicts. I am not in a position to confirm that, so why should I be interested in that? They'll get to the court. If some of them are ex-convicts, you hear it will come up in the court.
But what's the relevance? Is it the capacity thing or what?
No, there's a relevance. If you are an ex-convict and you are found before the law, you'll be asked, are you known to the law? And if it is found out that you are an ex-convict, there's a way to deal with you.
Threat of death.
Oh, Samson, I thought you were saying.
Let's hear from Haruna first. Yes.
The president is deeply concerned about the implications of a power deficit on businesses, on industry, and on personal lives. And as he indicated in his State of the Nation, his desire is to fix it, not manage it. We're currently at about 2,800 megawatts, inching towards 3,000 and more. With GE Capital coming, Americal, we have just given approval to Amandi and a few others, even to benefit from it. Now, bottom line is that we are now more thermal driven than hydro, and therefore you need gas and crude to power the thermal. There are challenges to the balance sheet of ECG and VRA, which even compel government to introduce
as much as $600 million of ECG's debt
the energy sector levy and others. And I had the privilege even to chair the negotiations on the related levies. And I can appreciate the comment made by Baden of ECG that when the president says realignment of costs, it may not be borne directly from budget because it probably was not budgeted for. But a reduction in the gas price, if government was selling gas to independent power producers at $2 per kilowatt and reduces it to 90 or 1.50, that can provide for some savings in order to align and compensate for those deductions. The problem in the country is that many MDAs are not up to date with payment of their bills. Many other citizens are not up to date with payment of their bills. ECG and VRA are in some financial distress that I know that the Minister of Finance is engaging the financial institutions to address. So certainly there would be some deficit in terms of power supply, but it will not be as major as we witnessed in the past. I think that should pass as my concluding.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Speculative processes like this do not fix. Speculative policies that do not fix pricing. The issue here is pricing. Is it 40 meters? Is it poor software? Is it sabotage? And then threat of strikes, and we have a subsidy which suddenly turns into a realignment. It is not just mere poor communication. It is confusion in policy itself. The fact that the overwhelming debts are not being addressed, and yet the president wants to be political. A reduction of 1.something%, as Dr. Ragubrobi said, paltry reduction for 6 months. It's obvious politics. The president cannot fix it. There's an incompetence on the power front. He set up a ministry of power. He's now acting as his own power minister, and he has no ideas left.
Interesting. Malisi Otu says that how will we ensure transparency in the deletion of the NHIS card bearers from the voter register by the EC? The CJ says it's a shared responsibility. Let's do our bit. Dr. Ejay Afo says this panel is indeed good. The decorum and the respect of views, the maturity is commendable. Newsfile, thank you. And then Mamoa Elijah Akumadan says that Mugabe and his crew should be punished without clemency because their comments are injurious to Ghana's democracy. And you join some other lawyer who says that he thinks that the court will not be doing justice if it does not give a minimum of 1 year to these guys.
My goodness, that is so wicked.
Yes. Thank you very much, Samson. I wish that there was time because as I was explaining earlier on, I think there seems to be a confusion when we are talking about owner and management. People seem to equate owner with management. And understandably, from the Ghanaian context, a lot of the time it is the owner of the business is also the manager of the business. But in truth, in technicality, that is not actually the case. It's just a misconception. The owner is not necessarily the manager of the company. And in a properly corporate governance situation, the owner might not even know what is going on in management. For example, SNIT can have a media house, but SNIT as an entity cannot be in charge of management, and SNIT cannot be the CEO. So when I'm talking about owner and management, I'm talking about owner and management in the technical sense, that is separating the shareholders from the persons who manage and operate the company. Now, as for the ECG thing, I think I have said time and ago, again, instead of the subsidy or whatever, whatever the name is being called, government should just pay its bills. If government pays the bills that the statutory institutions owe the ECG, I think that's
our citizens.
Okay.
I see why.
My outfit, as always, is supplied by Latida. As always, is supplied by Latida. Latida's contact is 020-433-6444. 020-433-6444. My guests have been Abdul Malik Kwekuba, co-editor-in-chief of the New Crusading Guide newspaper. Clara Berry Kasati is a private legal practitioner and teaches the law. Haruna Idrisu is also a lawyer. He's Minister for Employment and Labor Relations. And MP Tamale South, Yabuabeng Asamoah is private legal practitioner, speaks for Nana Akufo-Addo, and is the man on the NPP's ticket for the Adenta constituency. I'm Samson Ladi Ayenini. Have a good afternoon.
Yeah,